LL Cool J, peace, my
Charlamagne
brother.
God. Peace.
How are you, man?
Good.
I want to set my intentions for this conversation before we get started. I want people to watch this conversation, and when it's over, I want them to say to themselves, damn, objectively, regardless how they may feel personally, who's their personal favorites, objectively, you can't have any top 5 greatest of all time discussions without mentioning LL Cool J.
I take that all day, man.
Okay.
I can't argue with that. I'm with you.
And one of the reasons I say that is because you are by far hip-hop's first major superstar. People could say you are the prototype for what became the formula for success in rap. You had the streets, you had the women, and you had songs for both of them. So with that said, why do you think LL Cool J isn't in those conversations?
Well, I would say, first of all, I feel like, first of all, let me just say that I feel appreciated, and I feel respected, and I feel loved. I think that, in any art form, in any genre, ultimately, there are different dynamics at work when people hear people the internet came in during a different era. So it documented things on a different level. So some people who weren't there to necessarily witness certain things might not be aware. But my job, is not to really harp on what people don't know, is to show them what they should know and teach them what they should know, right? So it's that's the whole point of me making new music, just to get out there, to let them see what it's like to have me on the court, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? To see me out there balling. And the difference is, this isn't sports, this is art. And in art, it's about the mind, the soul, the emotions. You be connected to what you create. So you could do that at a high level at any point. And I think that's my goal and my objective right now, is to just show people that you can take a hiatus from something, do something else, and then reemerge and do it at a high level. So, we'll get to it. They'll learn.
Most critics would consider it risky, though, because of your icon status, to release a new album so long after your last one. What would you say?
I'd say that's the whole point. That's the fun part of it, right? It's listen, there is no great artist, great athlete, or anybody that's great at anything. If you cannot be great if you're not willing to be vulnerable. And this vulnerability comes from having the strength and the courage to go after what it is that you want and risk looking foolish in the process. LeBron doesn't get the last shot. Steph Curry doesn't take the last shot if he's worried about his legacy, right? Kobe don't take the last shot if he's worried about his legacy. LeBron stops playing 3-4 years ago if he's worried about his legacy, but because he wants to push the envelope, you're having a conversation, look at what this guy can do in year 20, look what he could do in year 5, right? You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's that's the fun of it. I love that challenge. That's what makes it worth it.
All right.
You know what I mean?
So what is legacy to LL Cool J?
Yo, you know what's funny, man? Nobody gets a chance to come back and say, yo, correct my tombstone. You know what I mean? So it's y'all spelled it, that's not what I meant. Nah, so it's none of us really know what our legacy is, because why do we know that? Because if you put a picture of a glass of water on the internet, they're gonna argue over that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
and
not
people
water,
drowned in it.
Yeah,
People used it to sustain life.
Yeah.
People watered plants with it. So it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do in the moment. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing in the moment right now with your life? You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do is just maximize my potential. Then you let the world decide all that. There'll be generations after us that can have all them debates and all them conversations.
But you got to pop your shit a little bit, though.
Because without a doubt.
Because you see these top 5 lists, and there's people that came after you that they'll put on the top 5 list, and it's almost like, they're discrediting you in a sense.
Yeah.
So you got to care about the recognition.
Well, I do care about the recognition. No, I definitely care about the recognition.
Okay.
No, absolutely. I just, you say, it's sometimes you hear Floyd say, yo, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's really how I feel.
Right.
I really don't care about that shit, man. If that's who you like, that's who you like, baby. You know what I mean? My job is to touch the people who love L and who fuck with L, and not to be worried about who messes with this one or that one.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't affect my spirit or my vibe, because if it did, listen, man, to get to where I've been in life and to do the things I do, you gotta have thick skin, bro. I'd have been in a ball with my thumb in my mouth and a blankie a long time ago if I was really worried about these lists and people's opinions. because nothing is ever gonna be perfect. You know what I mean? So, look, I think that history will shine kindly on me. You know, at the end of the day, like, you gotta remember, like, you're talking to, look, Def Jam there was Def Jam Productions. The label was Party Time Streetwise. They had a song by Tila Rock called It's Yours. I bought that song. I took it, made a demo, sent it in to Rick Rubin. Me, Russell, and Rick, we ended up starting Def Jam, right? It was their label, I was the flagship artist, right? So everything that came after me, you know, my first, you know, you're talking to a guy whose first single dropped in '84. And I'm still like relevant in the world globally. I can't complain. Right. And if you think about everybody that came after Def Jam, out of Def Jam, on Def Jam, like, I mean, I basically ushered in the whole modern era of hip hop, right?
Absolutely.
And grew up watching Flash and the Treacherous and the Crash Crew and the Fearless Form, was at those their shows and seeing them and listening to the tapes and the blends and the mixes. So I've been a fan from day one and then helped usher in a new era as well. So I don't really have any beef. You know, I feel real good about my standing in this culture. You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask you about Def Jam too, because as you just mentioned, you were a staple at Def Jam. Yeah. And I always thought they should have renegotiated your contract to make you more of an owner. Like
but I own my whole catalog.
Oh, okay.
I own my whole catalog. When you see Mama Said Knock You Out in the movie, I licensed that.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are under the pressure, oh boy, like, listen, man.
Because that was the time back in the day when artists were getting got.
Nah, but see, not all artists.
Okay.
That's not a broad general thing. That speaks to certain executives taking advantage of certain people. One thing I can say about Russell and Leor, look, and Russell, he didn't make the bad deal early, and then Leor, he drives a hard bargain, but he'll give it to you when you earn it. I can't front on the guy. People can say what they want about him, but at the end of the day, I do own my catalog, and I do, you know, have a huge interest, you know, in what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's other samples and different things, but I own all my stuff. So it's like, I can't complain.
Was that the Kobe deal for you? Like, did they give you that because, like, okay, this was our franchise artist. This is the guy who put us on the map. Here, take all your masters and everything else.
Well, it wasn't really that. I was at a point where I was, my deal was up, and we had, you know, it was like, we got to find a way to make it right. So, and justify our relationship, and we just made a good deal. And that was part of it. So, you know, I'm good, like, you know what I mean? Like, I really am in a good place in that way, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention all the other things that I do as well. So, you know, I can't.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Did you feel slighted that it took so long for them to put you in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Not really, because I understand that a major part of my appeal, you know, especially on a commercial level, was geared towards women. It was black women, all women of all races, but it was a lot of black women, a lot of different. And because of that, you know, you just got some dudes that, you know, that ain't, you know, they want you to, you know, if you ain't burning the flag or, you know, being a rebel in a different way, they want to not necessarily give that, you know, everybody doesn't recognize the artistry that comes with that. They think it's like there's some kind of trick to that, but there isn't. You got to really make them songs.
They don't see the value in it.
Yeah, you got to really write I Need Love. You have to really write Around the Way Girl. Like, you really got to write these songs. You got to write Lounging. You got to write Doing It. You can't just, you know, that doesn't just show up because you took your shirt off. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I take my shirt off. You know, the song is bullshit, but I took my shirt off. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, you actually have to write the songs. So, you know what I mean? Like, so for some of them dudes in the Hall of Fame at that time, especially when you hear in retrospect, because that was an old regime. Remember, that's not the new regime. The new regime, they're rocking, you know what I'm saying? But that was another guy, and he had a whole nother mindset. So, you know what I mean?
That's interesting. So you saying that they probably didn't respect the art like they should have because of your sex symbol status?
Yes, 100%.
That's crazy, because you hear that conversation from women. You don't really hear that from a man's perspective.
Of course, it's real though. It's real. It's like, you know, like, it's just part of the game, right? Like, at that time, like, in terms of those songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want, you know, fight the power and only fight the power, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they, you know, just think about who got in and why.
Yeah. But sex sells.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily, let's keep it real, B. If if you got a dude that feels like he's living his life making a pinky promise, the last thing he wants to do is put, the young bull in the frame. That's the last thing. Hey, honey. Hey, honey, look at this guy. Yeah, let's
keep him out of the light as long as possible.
Let's not, let's not,
Oh, man. Does it feel, well, how does
Love that remix.
That's crazy. So as you kept your shirt on more, when they felt comfortable.
It'll have been a lot
Okay,
easier.
got
It'll been a
you,
lot
got
easier,
you,
bro.
got you.
Like shirts on and,
But then you wouldn't have had the women.
It's like, well, whatever, It's like showing up to a cocktail party with your tuxedo open and a six-pack with your shirt on. It probably won't go over well with some parts of the crowd.
But you embraced it though, like I always.
Who's he? That shit is crazy.
But you embraced it though, like I always heard Method Man say he shunned his sex symbol status. You embraced
You
it.
goddamn right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
There ain't no shame in my. Listen, man. When I grew up, I grew up liking the girls, liking, and I thought, that was our goal as kids.
Word.
We wasn't like in it to not have them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't
right.
in to not have no
That's
girl.
right.
Like I didn't, it wasn't like I was running around doing everything, but I definitely was looking
Absolutely.
and was interested.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
Does it feel strange that this generation may know you more from NCIS than your music? Speaking
Nah,
of
actually, it's an amazing thing because it's like it's proof that you could do anything, that you could reinvent yourself on so many different levels. And look, I got two crowds, man. I got two crowds when it comes to my audience. Musically, it's the don't call it a comeback crowd who absolutely knows what I do, and it's the he raps crowd, right? I'm very aware of both of them. I know when somebody's looking at me, they're like, oh, he raps, oh, he hosted, I like his show. I love it all. It's like, but music is my first love. You know what I'm saying? Music's my first love. But nah, that doesn't, because look, at the end of the day, see, when you hear artists like bitching and moaning and crying and complaining about generations not knowing them, it's like, man, make a record. Make some music then. You got a problem with people not knowing you for something, then do something about it. Make some music. You want to sit over here crying, they gotta know. And the arts are kind of, there is a what have you done for me lately factor that always plays into art as it moves through the continuum of time. You know what I'm saying? So there are gonna be certain generations that are not as aware if you're not current and if you don't put out current shit. So my job as LL Cool J is to put out a current album and give them a current idea of what I think artistically, which will cause them to look back at some of the things and go Google my shit and get into my older videos and get into my early stuff. They can get that history, but you gotta do some new shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no excuses. You can't, like I said on one of my songs on Passion, I was like, no excuses. You better be easy and ruthless. A bunch of paper tigers all toothless. That Tony Montana blueprint is useless. Some people ignore facts. That nigga in Scarface fell on the map. We just act like we don't see that. Ask him where the weed at, or eliminating mids when the speakers get the feedback. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you just gotta step into the shit that you do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You just answered one of my questions, because I was going to ask you about, something Method Man recently said after a performance at Summer Jam, and he said the generation gap was too wide for him. No. And I was going to ask you, do you ever feel like you feel the need to make music to appeal to this generation?
No.
Okay.
You have to make art that's true to you.
Okay.
It's true to you. I don't need, like, for those who understand the reference, I don't need the Golden Girls to be acting like Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? Like, let's not do that.
You don't want to see Blanche twerking?
Yeah, let's not do that, man. Let's just not do that. Let's not go there with this shit. So I don't need to get my little Uzi Vert on and shit,
right.
My little Yachty on for them to, I gotta be me. And they'll find it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, At the end of the day, if I'm 16 years old, or if I'm 19, or if I'm 20, the only way you're gonna get my attention is by the person playing some shit and that shit is hot to me.
Word.
None of that other shit matters. I don't give a fuck what you did. I don't care how you did it. I don't care what you started, what you didn't start, how you. Is that shit hot?
Word.
If it's hot to me, I'm good. I'm in. If it ain't, I'm not fucking with it. It's that simple. And that's life. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these artists, like Meth, that's my man. I love him. He's super nice. His flow crazy. My thing with him is that I get what he's saying. It was the station's job to kind of think about that when they were curating it, so that it's seamless to help him out. You know what I'm saying? You got to you got to line the pieces up right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to line them pieces up right, because that audience could get into their music, but it has to be sandwiched the right way and presented the right way to give the audience an opportunity to rock with them, because their shit is dope. If Mick Jagger can run around at 80 years old and have 4 generations in his show, like even me with my Force tour, I'm running around, I got 3-4 generations in the crowd. But those kids were introduced to the music by somebody. It was laid out for them a certain way. We did the Grammy 50th anniversary. We had Glorilla and Lil Baby on the same stage with Public Enemy, Run DMC, and Flash. It's doable. It's all about how you do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's about execution, like anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Was there ever a time you were disheartened by the state of hip hop?
Well, yeah, I would say there was a moment when I felt like, right before I started Rock the Bells and really started, because people have to realize, this whole timeless resurgence that people are feeling, that's because I put it on my back with Rock the Bells and Rock the Bells Radio, and went out there and said, I'm gonna throw festivals, I'm gonna do things, I'm gonna lift these acts up, and those who are open and allow themselves to receive the blessing will be lifted up, right? So I felt like our culture was being commoditized. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, if Mick Jagger can be respected, and if Bruce Springsteen can be respected, then so can Rakim, and so can Chuck D, and so can, countless others, Queen Latifah, you name them. And so that was a moment, but I did something about it. See, I'm a big believer in, don't talk about it, be about it. And if you have an issue, if you got something that's a problem to you, address that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes be, crying and bitching and moaning, then go home and sleep, get high, smoke some weed, cry some more the next day, get high again,
Absolutely.
cry some more. It's like, nah, if you got a problem, do something about it. So I did something about it. And I think that it really worked. It led to all of the things you see, from, Dre and them, all of them rocking and killing the Super Bowl, to all these artists in this resurgence. You see it, different artists doing all these things. That all emanated from that decision that I made with Rock the Bells. So again, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? But that was the vibe. You know what I mean? Do something about it. If you have an issue, and that's in life in general. If you find you passionate about something, or angry or frustrated about something, lean into that shit. That's your calling.
Let's expound on that, because I had a question about Rock the Bells, man. When you look back at the version of yourself who recorded the song Rock the Bells, and now you look at the man you are today and the Rock the Bells brand you created that you were just talking about, did the man in that booth recording the song Rock the Bells back in the 80s envision this?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
Well, what's the connection between the two? Like, why did you choose to use that song title for this brand above all the other songs?
Well, a few things. It was a few things. First of all, the dude back then, he just wanted some new sneakers, some cars, and some jewelry. I was very simple, pretty easy to, maybe a little Red Lobster or something.
Word. That was fine dining back in the day, though.
The finest.
Yes.
This was finest. Yes. They might have been playing hockey with the steak in the kitchen, but we felt great about the shit. You know what I mean? But as far as why that name, it started off with those guys who originally had the Rock the Bells Festival. Originally, they took my song. A lot of things come from me, like Rock the Vote. That was Rock the Bells. Yeah. A lot of things come from. So those guys, they had Rock the Bells, and then so that was cool. I didn't say nothing. I left it alone. And then one day they called me up, and they offered me, let's just call it $10 for a show. Let's just call it that.
The performing a show called Rock the Bells.
Yeah. And wow. when my team told me that, I was looking at the phone. I said, I want my IP back. It fucked me up. It was like it rubbed me wrong, you know what I mean? So I just went and took the IP back. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, let me get that. And then I said, you know what I mean? Then I said, yo, let me
You did that fly like that intruder
you know
that came in your house back in the day.
You know what I mean?
Motherfucker. Quick.
Motherfucker. Fuck out of here. Yo, so I took it back, and then we started rolling with it. So that's really the real reason why it ended up being that song. It could have been any song, but that my inspiration came from that first. First, I felt like, yo, listen, it's kind of like, people take kindness for weakness, and sometimes they take leniency for stupidity. I'm being lenient with you, so you think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you being so lenient that they're gonna call you to
Yeah. You're really a sucker. I kind of thought you were, but now, let me call you in. So I was like, you know what? I took it back. So anyway, I say that to say that's why it ended up being Rock the Bells. But my desire to lift up those other artists and to see them respected and elevated, that came from me. You know what I'm saying? And lifting that up. And obviously the song was, my shit, so that's what it was.
It's impossible to talk about you as just a hip hop artist in regards to people who have helped the culture move forward because of all the success you've had, in television and in film. So how important was your appearance in Crush Groove to your career launching to another level and taking hip hop to another level?
So Crush Groove, that the movie, the film, it was about Russell's life and Run DMC's life, and it was hugely important. First of all, the only reason, there was two things. First of all, I overslept for my I Can't Live Without My Radio video. Because I was hanging out all night or at a show, I had a show. So I didn't wake up in the morning. So Russell screaming and all that. So the video didn't happen. Then, after that, I wasn't even supposed to be in that movie, in the movie Crush Groove. I was an extra. I went down there. My man Cornell, he rest in peace, used to tell me, yo, go down there every day. Go down to the set. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because I had left home when I was 16. My grandmother didn't understand me pursuing my music. I'm sleeping on the train. I'm like, I got my green bags on the train. I'm riding around trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. Then I went and so I was going out to the set every day because it was either that or stay in the basement with a bunch of roaches. I was like, fuck it, let me go down to the set every day. So I was going down there to the set, and one thing led to another. I'm down there, you know what I'm saying, talking this and that, and then finally they gave me a little part. I was talking that shit, and the rest is history. It launched me because it was like having a national video on a national platform. So it would be the equivalent of whatever you can think of now as a national platform for your first visual, for people to see you the first time. And it blew up from there. The album ended up going platinum, and good things happen, B.
Absolutely.
It worked out for everybody.
When you think about movies and music, what's your favorite movie project of your career?
My favorite movie? Probably In Too Deep and Deep Blue Sea.
Love In Too Deep.
Yeah.
Classic. I told you that before. God is a very underrated black movie villain.
Oh yeah, he's
like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
when they talk about Old Dog, Bishop, you gotta put God in there.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, it was real. Everybody should check that one out. In Too Deep. Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, let's get into the album, Spirit of Cyrus. Yeah. Right. The album's called Force, but the intro, Spirit of Cyrus. First of all, you address police brutality out the gate. Who is Cyrus, and what inspired you to address the injustice cops display to black people right out the gate?
Okay, so the name of the album is The Force. It's an acronym, right? Frequency is a real creative energy. And Cyrus, people could go into history with it, but we were talking really about, the warriors and Cyrus and this guy who was trying to bring all of these people together and see good things happen in his community, even though it was coming from him being a gang leader, him being all of these different things. And, he ended up going out. Now that was a metaphor for the guy that the story was based on, because I was inspired to write the song based on a guy named Christopher Dorner. He was an LAPD cop who felt like he was being oppressed. And the reason why I got into the song is because when I was doing NCIS, it used to be people at high levels of law enforcement. I have friends in high levels because I did the show for so many years. This dude called me up, he's like, yo, L, or Todd, yo, what's up? Don't come outside. I'm like, don't come outside. The fuck did I do? Right? I ain't do nothing. He's like, nah, you don't understand. And he sent me a picture of Christopher Dorner. And when I saw his picture, and he said, look, they're looking to take this guy dead or alive. and it might not be alive. So don't come out because you could be mistaken for him. When I saw the picture, I realized how real that was. And so I went down the rabbit hole. And then I ended up writing a song because I knew that there were people that would relate to both sides of that story. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna write this song. And I was inspired. Me and Q-Tip were in the studio, and he had all of these wild synths and this track that sounded crazy, and I just ended up writing that song. And the rest is history. But it's true. It's based on a true event, and it was inspired by true events, and it was, you know, a dude who had enough, and he exploded, and you know, he was like addressing police brutality, blue on blue brutality, like all of it. And so I wrote the song.
Did you have anybody do any pushback like, no, that might affect what you got going on in Hollywood, that might affect what you got going on in television, you can't, you know, say that about the police? Well,
I gotta be true to the art on this one. It's not like I was condoning or pushing it away. I was just being a channel to the art. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't incite a person one way or the other. It's art. It's like a painting. It's up to you to look at it and see or hear what you want to hear. You know, obviously I played law enforcement for years, but I've also had bad experiences too as a kid growing up. So it's both, right? So I think the song addresses both. And I think that, you know, anybody that's honest and objective can just listen to it. It is what it is. Like, it's a song.
How much responsibility do artists have to address social issues?
I don't think that's an artist. An artist is not, that's not a prerequisite. That's just like saying, you know, when Michelangelo sculpted David, did he have a responsibility to deal with men's health? You know what I mean? Because he got the dude naked, and dude standing there naked, like so Michelangelo has to address this. Like, you know, artists, see, what people fail to realize is creating art that is popular doesn't necessarily mean that you have evolved in other areas and are necessarily inspired or educated by or in terms of other areas. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let an artist be an artist. And if you're going to have people out there who are very socially conscious, who care about that stuff, and they will appeal to certain people, but you can't just say it's your responsibility. That doesn't work, because that's not just either. You know what I'm saying? You got to let people be who they are. You know, that's like, you know, like saying, like, you know, you can't put red in your hair because you have people that are triggered by red. You can't really live your life like that. You know what I mean? So, nah, I think artists should do what they really feel.
Absolutely.
For real. Like, but what they really feel. Like, this album is what I really feel. Like, I wasn't trying to go commercial. I'm not trying to, like, this shit is, you know, what I felt inspired to make.
You know, a Saturday Night Special, the record with Ross and Fat Joe.
Yeah.
It sounds like you addressing people's egos. I want to know what's the lesson to be learned in those verses, and did you have particular people in mind when you were writing those raps? Well,
the songs, the verses for me were definitely archetypes. And you know, you do have the dude who's greedy and extra sensitive and pretends not to be offended when he really is, and you have to watch out for that when you're growing up, or when you're in a boardroom, or when you're trying to, you know, pass the bar, when you know, in law school or whatever it is, you pledging, it don't matter. Like, you're gonna have people like that. You're gonna have the daredevil who has to be the center of attention, or they're uncomfortable. You have that person, and they have that envious spirit in them, or whatever it is that you gotta watch out for. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have different people. But the song is really about integrity, not moral judgment, not saying people gotta be perfect and shit, but just integrity. Like, saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And you know, people say standing on business. Well, that's what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? And being solid. And so that's what the song really addresses. And then what Joe and Rick do is they give you examples of different types of characters that say different types of things. And so Joe will address it one way, and Rick is showing you an example of that type of a character. You know what I'm saying? I chose to give you the lessons that are to be learned from those characters. And that's kind of what the song is.
I like Black Code a lot.
Thank you.
I think that you should put that out on Juneteenth. You know? but you know, on Black Code, you said the only crossover you respect is Kyrie.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who said you crossed over though?
I would say they're right. And I would say it happened, but it was never intentional.
It was organic.
It was organic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like kind of like, and the reason, like you look at a Kyrie or you look at a Jordan or you look at a LeBron, they did cross over, but they crossed over doing what they love. They crossed over doing what's true to them. They didn't pretend to be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come in, paint, Magic didn't come in painted like he was Larry Bird and shit to cross over. It's like he was Magic. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. Like, my thing is, you gotta be true to who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is. You gotta stand on that. Be yourself. You know, like that old Oscar Wilde quote, be yourself, everybody else is already taken. That's real shit. So, yeah, that's what I meant. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I did cross over, absolutely, 1,000%. Way over.
Yeah.
Like Silver-Haired Ladies in Montana, I love that show. But I was doing what I love. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
And I also like the song Black Hole just because it's so black. But I remember I saw you on the shop, and you were saying, one of the reasons you reached out to Q-Tip, because you was working on the album with Dre, you reached out to Q-Tip because you said you really wanted like a black album. So it made me wonder, like, what wasn't Dre giving you in terms of blackness?
Oh, no. Dre gave me everything.
Okay.
What it was my songwriting
Gotcha.
wasn't up to par when I was working with Dre. Dre gave me some tracks and some stuff. We got like 40 joints. It's just my writing. I didn't feel like my writing was meeting Dre where it needed to be. And so even though I did call Tip and got with him, in between that time, I was back in the gym working on my jump shot. Okay. I was working on my pen game. I was analyzing my writing. I had to learn how to rap again. I had to learn how to rap again.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the game changes, it shifts, it evolves. So the dribble that was fancy, the Tim Hardaway dribble that was fancy at one time, and he's amazing, is different from the Kyrie dribble that's fancy today. Yeah. Things evolve. Yeah. So the same with writing, and when you're doing hip hop, you have to respect the evolution of the game. So I had to go back and relearn, making sure them couplets were right, making sure that wordplay was right, making sure those narratives were correct, making sure that I was expressing myself right. And once I worked on that in a real serious way, then I got with Tip, and the rest is history, and we made this amazing body of work that I feel really good about.
So would you revisit the Dr. Dre
100%
project?
Dre's my man. He FaceTimed me the other day, man. Absolutely, 100%. I just wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? He always, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always delivers. It's just, I'm not gonna put him in a position, you know what I'm saying, where I'm not all the way there and I'm not giving him the best, I'm not taking full advantage of our creative relationship. You know what I mean? I value our creative relationship too much for me to be writing some lame shit, some shit that I think is lame and it's not meeting, you know what I mean?
How do you get to that level of self-awareness to where you can look at your raps and be like, yo, this shit is whack?
Man,
I can't see too many people doing that.
Yeah, you got a lot of people walking out the house in outfits when they need to be doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta, like, honey, you see that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, dude walking out, he got the camel toe and shit, like, or the fucking moose knuckle. It's like, homie, loosen them jeans up, bro.
You saw yourself when you left the house.
Yeah. Before I left the house, I was like, yo, man, this is some moose knuckle shit. Let me, this is looking crazy. I'm bending over like, my pants are ripped.
Is there anybody that tells you, or you just can hear it yourself?
You gotta listen to it. You gotta be honest. See, I make two types of projects. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before. I make shit in a vacuum where I'm just kind of experimenting for me, and I make cultural albums. I was looking to make a cultural album. I didn't want to get with Dre and do my experimental thing. Because my experimental thing is never the records that are appreciated by the culture. They're never the ones that are as an artist, they make me feel good. So it's really a little weird thing I do. And most of the time, that's why after I do a really, really great album, I'd go do some weird shit. And that's how I work. That being said, I wanted to make a cultural album this time. So I had to be right.
You got a song called 30 Decembers. Most people talk about how many summers they got. You said you had 30 Decembers.
Yeah, because I was away a long time.
Yeah.
I was away from New York a long time, and I went back during the pandemic, right? I put the black mask on, I got the hoodie on, I got the shades on, I got Tim's all black. I'm running around like, probably looking like a stick-up kid or something, right? Like, they don't know what's going on. but I got to go everywhere. I was all in the projects. I was up in the pink houses. I was places they didn't even know it was me. I'm running around in Coney Island. And I filmed it. I documented it on the gram. And I got inspired, so I wrote 30 Decembers, being on the subway. And everything I said in the song, like, you know what I'm saying? The lady sitting next to me don't want to move her stuff. She don't want to let me sit down. Afraid of how I get down. Ain't dealing with that shit now. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff I said is really what I went through. And it was deep, because the one thing you forget about in life, you know what I'm saying? When you, like, even if you got a good job, B, you forget about danger. You know what I'm saying? You forget that danger exists. You forget that there's pissy elevators. You forget that there's people sleeping on the floor dodging bullets. You forget that there's people swallowing Vicks because they can't go to a hospital or going to the emergency room because they don't feel good. You forget about all that shit. And that disconnection is part of the reason why artists aren't able to really give the people what they want. They start rapping about fucking Grey Poupon.
So 30 December symbolizes the streets in New York City and
how long it had been since I really was home for real. Not visiting the city, not visiting the city in an SUV, not visiting the city and saying, yo, I'm from here. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really, when's the last time you really sat on a fucking couch and was like, this shit smell funny? You know what I mean? This smell funny in this motherfucker. Or when you walk in a hallway and there's so many people cooking in the projects, the fucking hallway smells like goddamn Thai, Italian, Irish soul, fucking, your nose is exploding with the fucking, all these smells because it's all this food and that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think people are aware, especially this, I know this generation not, and probably just a lot of people in the industry aren't. You came up in a time in NYC where rappers was running with real people. Let's just leave it at that. Real
the hustlers,
people.
The hustlers.
Yeah. The killers, everything.
Yeah, 100%.
What did you take from your time spent on blocks and eat Flatbush with hustlers like George Chain?
Oh man, you know about George? Wow, Stretch. My man Stretch from Brooklyn. May he rest in peace. It's so funny, man. I used to go out to Brooklyn with Stretch all the time. He had his gold 190 E-Benz, and like even when I had Rock the Bells, I remember I was playing Rock the Bells for him in the car one time. And he was like, we pulled up on one of his crew. He was like, yo, it's my man L. He want to know if you think he should make this a record. He played it for him and shit. They was like, yo, that shit is hot. So me and Stretch were real cool. I really hung a lot with AZ and Rich and Alpo and those guys because of my man Chuck. I used to go uptown, so I used to be on 132 all the time. And, so those are the guys like the Paid in Full movie.
Absolutely.
Like the Paid in Full movie guys were my real friends, and I was with them every day. So when I did like Walking with a Panther, and with the jewelry, with the diamonds and all that shit, like that's who I was with every day. So it was like that definitely rubbed off on me in terms of wardrobe, my mindset. I mean, even songs like Saturday Night Special, it still influences that mindset because you learn how to move. You know what I'm saying? Like you learn that if you really, really, really want to survive in the world, don't try to be a tough guy.
Word.
Like that tough guy shit don't really fly because somebody's gonna test that shit all day long. You're much better off just having manners. I didn't say be soft. I didn't say don't defend yourself. I didn't say don't do what you gotta do if there's a problem. I said don't try to be a tough guy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing, like just understanding that. And those guys being, maybe 2-3 years older than me, 4 years older than me, were just old enough to kind of mentor me. So it's like, coming out of Queens, like from age, late, like 16, 17, like 17, early, maybe late 16, early 17, all the way to like early, 20s or whatever. I was hanging around for as long as they were around. I was hanging with these guys and learning the ins and outs of life. And it's not just all like crime and criminal shit and all that negative shit that people always think about. There are also life lessons in it about manhood, you know what I'm saying, and about how to be honorable when you're moving around and how to treat people, how to respect people, so that if you see them again, it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to see people again.
Absolutely.
Man or woman, you're going to see them again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The girl will be walking past you while you get your ass whipped or get your pistol whipped. About,
That's right.
You catch one of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So you learn. You know what I mean?
You're answering a lot of questions before I even ask them, because I was going to ask you, like, you see a lot of people in hip hop get caught up being too close to individuals in the street. And I was watching the Supreme Team doc, and you were in the crowd at Fat Cat's
Oh, yeah.
Birthday party.
Supreme and them is my man.
That's
Listen. Black Justice is my man. You know what I'm saying? Bimmy's my man. I was running with them because they were closer in age. And then Preem, I knew, that crew, like a lot of them I knew. They were a little older, but I knew them.
So how'd you end up not getting caught up in that? Like say, Irv did. Not throwing him under the bus, but just.
I get it. Because, you know why? Because I was around enough hustlers my whole life to know that the shit ain't cute. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? See, let me tell you, like, dudes that are insecure, that becomes like a security blanket for them. You know what I mean? If you really understand life and you're around enough people, you understand that you need to just, you don't need to be seen in that light. It's not necessary. Mm-hmm. Because I really was around it. Like, so I don't have to make that part of the LL Cool J narrative because I was really there. Word. Like, for real. Word. You know what I mean?
The shower posse.
For real.
Yeah.
Very for real. So it's like dudes playing with guns and dropping them on the floor on purpose just to see how you react. You know? You scared? That kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You ever thought about telling those stories, like in a movie or?
I mean, I would do a movie. I thought about it. People ask me that kind of stuff. I would. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Because when I hear those stories, they sound unbelievable. When you hear stories about the Shaw Posse, Supreme Team, it's like, what?
Yeah. Nah, Yo, I'm listening, man.
Really live
there's
it.
two schools of thought. There's the guys who really, I want to be cut from that cloth. You see me as that, and there's the guys like, I'm gonna leave that over there because, I really smelt them candles. You know what I mean? Like them candles was really, I smelled them for real. So I don't need to be, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm good.
Absolutely.
I'm good. Nothing to prove.
Another record off the album, Huey in the Chair.
Yeah.
Again, you taking a revolutionary tone.
Yeah.
So it made me think, would you have rapped like that throughout your career if it was more, I guess, profitable?
I didn't even take profits into consideration. Mm-hmm. See, there's a time to create art and there's a time for commercial consideration. Mm-hmm. If you paint the Mona Lisa, you don't paint it, thinking that, I don't know, something's gonna be trendy one day. You just paint it. I don't take that into consideration with this album. I wrote a record from the heart that I think people of all colors, ethnicities, cultures will be able to respect because it's really coming from my experience of what I've seen or what I've witnessed or what I've envisioned. However it came to me, whatever I was inspired to write, it's real. So it's not, I'm not trying to be commercial. I wanted to make something that could touch the world in a way that is real from a hip hop standpoint. Mm-hmm. So, I respected his stance. I respected, my aunt, and this is an interesting thing, and I didn't know this, when I did my DNA and at Harvard and they did all this stuff, and she's still alive, when we've talked, my Aunt Joan, who I got reconnected with later in life, she was the first female Black Panther.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
My Aunt Joan. Yeah, my Aunt Joan.
She's
from Oakland.
Okay.
She's from Oakland, Joan Lewis. My uncle was John Henry Lewis. He's a light heavyweight champion. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He was first African-American light heavyweight champ. But that whole side of my family has some very interesting people in it. She plays the violin. She's dope. And that was, something I learned and discovered. I thought that was quite fascinating. The Huey thing, I thought a lot of the things he was trying to do were worthy of respect.
Absolutely.
So I wrote a song about it. I thought it was worth listening to. I think that, as an artist, I would be cheating the world if I didn't write stuff that came from my heart and soul. It's never to exclude anybody. I'm not even built like that. Mm-hmm. I like everybody. Like, I like people. Mm-hmm. I'm weird. Like, I don't have like all of them, I don't judge people. I'm not judgmental. So I just wrote something that I thought people would find fascinating.
Clearly, as a Black man, that's always been in you. You talk about your, aunt who was the first Black Panther, so it's in your DNA. So when you used to hear Chuck D rap back in the day, did you have any of those that you did but maybe never put out?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did. You know, I think creative courage, it takes time to get to that place. You know, when you have choices. And you know, quite frankly, you know, when you raised to be polite and when you raised with a certain type of manners, there's certain things you just don't say because you don't want to ruffle feathers. And I think that's a natural thing though. That's not always about, that's about how you're brought up. That's about upbringing. It's not really about like even commercial stuff. That's about upbringing. Like you look at Pac, it's his upbringing that fueled that creative music.
That's right.
It's your upbringing. So I wasn't really brought up in that kind of household. You know what I'm saying? I was brought up in a household, Caribbean and Southern. You know what I'm saying? Grandfather from Barbados, so it was a Caribbean influence in the house. Working 1,000 jobs, washing your arms up to your elbows when you come in, all that. You know, fixing your own car and shit. And then my grandmother from down south. So I was raised with that Southern Caribbean vibe in my house. So that just wasn't what we talked about. So I wasn't, as a kid coming up, that's not what I wrote about. But as you evolve and as you grow as a human being, and as you discover new things and new shit, you talk about it.
Do you have a lot of unreleased music that you recorded in like, you know, your early years? And if so, why not put it up?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but you know, they'll have plenty of time to do all that, right? It's not.
What you mean? You gonna wait till you leave?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Let me hear that old shit, man. Put out all that old shit. Yeah, I got the new old shit coming up.
The new old shit coming up.
Let me hear that old shit, man. Try to make some new shit, man. Yeah, let's get it popping, baby. What's happening, man? Let me hear that old shit, man. I don't even care about that shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. These dudes, you know, like run around and, you know, these dudes right now think they're gonna get away with the Pro Tools and all that. No, you're not. The state gonna wear your ass out, man. Yeah, we coming to get all that, man. Yeah, I know you think you got it. You think you slick. You know, a couple of dudes put some shit up on iTunes. I'm gonna tighten you up too. I got something for your ass too, man.
You know,
I know you think I forgot.
You know, I think about, I was talking about you in regards to Drake, right? Because the way Drake doesn't back down from a rap challenge reminds me of LL Cool J. Because Drake makes the records for the ladies, but he's also not afraid to mix it up as an MC. And you had a lot of those back in your day. You had Ice-T, you had Hammer, Kool Moe Dee. You know, you got it all of them on To the Break of Dawn. But what happened when you and Ice-T finally bumped into each other at the Def Jam party on Bleecker and Broadway?
Man, me and Ice are cool, man. You know what I'm saying? We bumped into each other, you know, talked a little talk and went back and forth with a little of this and that, but we cool. Like I respect Ice. Like I really do. Ice is a, you know what I'm saying, he's a smart dude. He's very clever, very smart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, I had all kind of run-ins with all kinds of dudes over the years. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is that it's always better to err on the side of civility, man, instead of putting yourself into some bullshit you don't want to get into. So me and Ice, we ironed that out, man. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
always,
funny though, you brought that shit up.
No, because I just always wonder how cooler heads prevail, because as you said, you are a real figure who ran with real figures.
Yeah.
Ice-T's a real figure who ran with real figures, but it never got to that level of violence.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why, because I've always been a guy that looked to avoid problems, because I know problems become real problems. And I know how I am. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look for problems, bro. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just really not built like that. I don't want the problems, because I'm not fucking playing with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want no problems. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather us be friends. You know what I mean? Because you have to look at you gotta look at my career, bro. If I put all my energy into a problem, do you know how crazy it would be? This world would be different if I was fucking on the other side of the fence. The whole world. So it's like, I don't even want to go there.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I want to keep things positive, energy, no problem, no fake tough guy bullshit. Respect dudes, give them love, give them honor, see them, give them a dap. Respect them behind their backs, respect them too, not just in their face. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it there. You know what I'm saying? And it works for me. That's why I have a lot of friends and a lot of respect in the game, and there's very few people, there's only a few people that, you know, aren't in love with me, and I understand why, and, you know, these things happen. You know what I'm saying? But I got good relationships because of that. So I'd rather keep it there with it. You know what I'm saying?
What would you say to rappers today, about the pitfalls of just beef in hip hop? Now that times have changed.
Well, I would say that, I would say that when it's really just about the music and the bars, like, don't take it so personal, B. Like, why the fuck are you so butthurt? Like, that you wanna, kill everything moving because somebody insulted you on the whack. I do get it, but you gotta control that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you can't really judge them because I've been there. I know it can be upsetting, You see a girl, you in the, the record plays, you in the car, your girl goes, he got you. Now you wanna fight. He got you. Or she might go, you be like, yo, this shit, and she kind of gives you the, you see that little, that fucking, you see the mouth do this shit, that little shit, you're like, I wanna kill this motherfucker. Now you gotta, your man Drake, that not like us shit, that's just torture for a motherfucker. Shit, little kids singing that shit.
Absolutely.
That's just bananas.
Absolutely.
You'll be fine, bro. You know what I mean? Don't even trip. So my thing is that's what I'm saying. So you just don't take it personal. You know what I mean? You can't be overly sensitive. You know what I'm saying?
Is it true that you and Jay-Z once battled in a parking lot in Manhattan and you rapped a verse from Funkadelic Relic and him and his team laughed at you?
Okay, let's talk about it, what it really is. First of all, I didn't rap a verse from Funkadelic Relic. Okay, that's the first fucking thing.
That's the story.
It's bullshit.
Okay,
it's not true. What did happen though is, I see guy, he in the club and he's trying to, flash money to get my attention. And I'm looking, okay, and then this man Sauce came up to me and was rapping. So I had a couple of rhymes. Remember, I'm albums in now. These are guys that ain't had a deal. So when I ain't have a deal, I had a suitcase of rhymes. Now I'm albums in. So I said some rhymes. I said a couple of rhymes. Then I said a little bit of a song, Ain't No Stopping This, a little bit. Then Jay came up rap. I was out of rhymes, B. In no scenario was I fully loaded and ready to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? If I was, I'm not exactly the first rapper that you really want to get into that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't so yes, did I run out of rhymes? Was I finished rapping? Absolutely. Was it their peanut gallery? Absolutely. But do you really want to get into some of that kind of shit with LL? You really want that?
Oh, so
no, but I'm saying, do dudes really want the problems, or is it just a nice story to have? It's like Floyd taking off the glove, stepping out the ring, and you shadow boxing in front of him. I caught you. It's like, okay. Yeah, you caught me. Y'all caught me.
Yeah. So there was just one of those things you just weren't as prepared as you probably should have been.
I wasn't prepared. I ran out of rhymes. They run up. This motherfucker, he been rapping on the corner for 10 years. He got fucking 1,000 rhymes. I ain't got none. I'm out of rhymes. He raps. Okay, congrats. You got that one.
Yeah.
You got that one. But, if I was you, I'd just bank that one and just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Don't drop nothing.
Is that where the whole Jay-Z and LL Cool J got problems came from?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, bro.
Because there was another rumor that your song Lounging was about Ho.
I mean...
because at the time he was known for the Lexus and you was... Why are you looking at me like that? He was known for the Lexus and you...
Fucking what, you got stock in fucking Lexus? I can't rap about a Lexus? This nigga got stock in Lexus? I can't mention Lexuses, bro? What the fuck? What's going on? What are we doing here? How personal we gonna take this shit, bro?
But was any of those bars about Jay?
No, B.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll tell you to you like this. If a dude makes a song, right, and I make a contrasting idea about a similar, in other words, if you say, yo, baby, I'm coming upstairs to see you, right? And then I'm like, yo, if I said something like, if that inspired me, right? And I'm like, you know what? Let him come upstairs, I'm gonna go around the side or some shit like that. That's not a disrespect, bro. You had a song, it had some cool ideas in it. I just, as an artist, was inspired and made some contrasting, a contrasting statement about what you were kind of saying in a the contrast of it. It wasn't like, I don't even know you, dog. I don't know you from a hole in the wall, like at all. I have no, like what could I possibly want from him in 90s? Like, let's think about 1996. What do I want with him?
Yeah, he's brand new. Yeah.
What could I possibly want? And so all I did was, there were songs out, I made some contrasting statements based on his song and my song like that. There was no disrespect. But again, that goes back to that sensitivity, B. Dudes be sensitive, man. It's like, dude, like, don't assume the worst. Why are you assuming the worst? Why not assume the best? Why not say, yo, let's fuck with something? Like, why does it have to be, I'm dissing you? Like, I wasn't dissing that man. I had no reason to diss him. Like, for what? Even to today, I don't want to diss homie. For what? I don't want nothing from him. I don't need nothing from him. I'm not looking for nothing, but I don't have no problems. Like,
you know, there's that infamous pic of you at the award show looking at him. Were you sizing him up like, yo, I got the rhymes right now?
What it probably is he was looking at that at me like that before they caught the shot. You know, that's like the teacher, I got you last. It's like a motherfucker look at you and then you look at him and then the teacher, get out of my classroom. You know, it's like I just got I got caught.
You know the pic I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you remember what you was thinking about in that moment exactly?
Yeah, I was probably thinking, this motherfucker get on my nerves. He's looking at me all crazy. Or some shit like that. This motherfucker get on my nerves, man. Look at this motherfucker.
Is it like a friendly competition? Because, you know, I even think about it had to be kind of difficult when he became president of Def Jam. Because now he's over.
It wasn't difficult at all. We had a meeting. It wasn't difficult. Only thing difficult is, promote my shit. I don't care. Like, you know, people funny with that because, like, you have people that'll say, like, yo, L, that's crazy when they gave this guy a job. But first of all, I don't like talking about people like this. This is ridiculous. But I just do it because everybody's going to be, you know, they already around. We already viral any fucking way. So I might as well finish. So, listen, I'm going to use some people who are familiar with this will understand it. When Michael Jackson was on Motown, he never wanted to be the president, bro. I didn't never want to be no president of Def Jam or I didn't want a job. Fucking MC. Fuck, I ain't come up here like, yo, Russell, give me a job. That's not what I was in it for. So no, I didn't have begrudge him. People have different things that they want to accomplish. I celebrate that. I'm happy for him. Like, seriously, sincerely, like, I'm happy for homie. Like, I'm happy that he's doing what he's doing. I'm happy that, like, and even when that happened, I didn't have any issue because I had no reason to think that it would be anything negative. And if anything, you have somebody that understands what you do and what you go through as an artist who's been through some things. So, I didn't feel no kind of way. You know, we met and stuff. I don't really know what that dynamic is about. I really don't. Like, I really don't know what it's about.
When y'all met to talk about, you know, the album or whatever, did y'all have good conversations? Did y'all bring all of this to the forefront?
Yeah, no, we didn't. We never, you know, sometimes you're right. Sometimes you got to give the elephant in the room some peanuts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We didn't really address it. No, we didn't. We didn't really address it. But I can tell you this. I like his music. I don't have no issues with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, I'm in LL mode, man. Think about LL Cool J.
When I look at y'all in hip hop, I look at you as Magic Johnson. I look at him as Michael Jordan. But you don't get no Jordan without Magic.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
Like, Magic is literally the top 5 of all time, easily.
You know, maybe. You know, maybe. But you know, I guess the movie credits ain't rolled yet, so we got to see how it works out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you be open to a friendly spar?
What kind of spar?
Lyrical. Damn, Al, relax. Lyrically.
Did I get excited?
Yes.
I was like, what kind of spar? Like, I'm just like, what type of spar are you talking about?
Lyrically.
Nah.
Because you see, remember at the Hall of Fame, I don't know what it was, I don't know if it was the Hall of Fame or the 70, maybe it was just when they did the 75 NBA inductions and Jordan saw Magic, he was like, I'll cross you up, we can get at it right now. Like,
Yo, listen, man. Yo, I mean, you know, hey, I'm glad you want to know, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know, I wouldn't, you know, I would say let's just all stay focused. You know what I mean? Don't let's just stay focused, baby. Don't get distracted.
Word.
You're getting it now. Just leave it alone. Just win. Just do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever happened to the E-Love, the brother that carried your radio?
Nah, Earl I think he's in Cali. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what he's doing. We talk occasionally. I had him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was a good vibe.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's good shit.
He was the Public Enemy logo, right?
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he loved my hype man. That's the Public Enemy logo. He had the bullseye on him and all that, the scope. Yeah, that's funny, right?
Yeah.
A lot of history, bro.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong on this too, because you and DJ Scratch, y'all made a classic record.
Yeah,
Ill Bomb.
And the GOAT album. He did most of the GOAT album.
He did most of the GOAT
A lot
album.
of it, yeah.
Okay.
Not all of it, a lot of it, yeah.
Why haven't y'all connected more on production?
Just time and going through things. Like that whole acronym, like, first of all, like I didn't even know when I came with that album, that it was gonna turn the GOAT into everything it became now. Like most people don't even know I came up with that shit.
That's crazy.
Like most people do not even know, yo, this guy really came up with the GOAT, that whole concept of being the GOAT.
And it's
It done went to every area of culture. Yeah. So like that's just, you're welcome again. Fuck. You know what I mean? You're welcome. But it was and I got it from Muhammad Ali saying he was the greatest of all times and Earl the Man of GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because me and Bimmy used to talk about Earl the Man of GOAT being a GOAT and all that, but GOAT, right? And then I made GOAT, G-O-A-T, greatest of all times, the acronym. And it just kind of bled into society and became this global thing.
And you often get left out of conversations for an acronym that you created.
Yeah, it's all right. But I'm in it if they use the acronym.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like so every time you see somebody use that GOAT, the emoji, or they call Tom Brady the GOAT, or they call Jordan the GOAT, or they call Floyd or Ali or whoever the GOAT, I'm right there.
Right.
Which is crazy for me, because I know I created it. So it's like, I'm looking at it like, oh shit, man, there's another one. Oh, Michael Phelps is a GOAT. Oh, okay. Well done, young man.
Word.
You know what I mean?
I've got a few more questions. I was reading Will Smith's book, and he talks about going broke after having success in music early on. Did you ever have any of those issues?
I've had moments in my life where, I owed taxes or had to do things, but no, I've never been in that position. I also, I'm a big believer, I pay my tithes, you know what I'm saying? So, whatever I get 10% to God, you know what I'm saying? I live my life kind of based on certain codes. I'm not, I've never been big on either overspending or oversaving. I just kind of let my life flow. That's why, I can get whatever I want whenever I want it, and I'm pretty good. I'm good with that, actually. Very good with that. Yeah, so I'm cool. Yeah.
Who taught you the business, if anybody?
Trial and error.
Word.
Trial and error. Man, like, you learn. Like, you just learn to, like, I remember one time, I gave my mother $8,000 to hold for me. And then I got a check for 50 grand or something like that. I was a little kid. I was maybe 16, 17. 16, something like that. And I remember,
Damn, you been rapping that long.
Oh, yeah.
You been getting rap money for that long.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, it's crazy, because I've been a fan since 8, 9. I started writing at 11 or 12. I've been doing this my whole life, right? For real. So, and I watched that 50 grand go, going, and that 8 just stayed there. I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this shit goes. Like, I learned that right there.
So you just learn how to save money.
Save enough. Always, make sure you can, you got, what I mean? Just tuck it.
Who were the people in your life that just kept you stable as a human? Because like you said, you started when you were 16 years old. So you had the industry, you had the streets, like you had every single pitfall that could have happened in front of you, but you grew to still be the man that we see in today.
Man, my mother, like my mother would give me she'd give me a book with a whole bunch of drug addicts in it, with heroin addicts, fingers all, hands all blown up, sores. She'd be like, Todd, look at this. And I'll be looking at it. She'd be like, people that do that, they don't have long careers. I'm like, oh, that messed my career. Interesting. You know what I mean? And then my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, initially, coming up, I was raised Catholic. I wasn't even raised in like the traditional black church as we know it. I was raised Catholic, and then ended up getting into the more Bible-based church, faith-based churches later. But so it was, all that Catholicism, man, that'll get you, like, that'll have you like being real cautious, man. Like everything's naughty and all that. So it was like, you just learn to like watch your step. You know what I'm saying? And like, I always, like, I tell you, man, like, like I remember one time I was talking to my man, right? And we was talking about hustling. He was like, well, why don't you come hustle with me? You know what I'm saying? And this is before I went uptown and everything. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. He's like, why? I said, because I want to be the best. So he said, well, so what's the problem? I said, well, I'm gonna have to kill people. So that's so in other words, what I'm saying is, when you think about things, when you do things, you have to think about things.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to really do the knowledge on what it is you analyzing and what you considering. And whether or not you will. And I didn't say be perfect. I didn't say none of that. I just said you have to consider what you're doing and if it's worth it to you based on what it is. So that's how. So I had a little fun, but like to be honest with you, with the drugs and all that, like I don't like my brain feeling like it ain't got no brakes on it and shit.
Word.
I don't like that feeling.
Absolutely.
Like I don't like walking in the room, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm all like, you know, I don't like that feeling. That's why I don't be drinking and smoking and getting high and all that. I never did because of that. I've tried everything. I've tried shit, but I've never, that's why. I don't like that feeling. You know what I'm saying? I like to have my wits about me.
So that's been your key to aging gracefully in the industry because, you know, a lot of the icons we grew to know and love, they not landing with their planes with the wheels out. You know what I mean? A lot of them planes landing, the wheels not coming out.
Yeah, them motherfuckers landing on flat tires, all type of shit.
Exactly.
Roller skate, one roller skate on a 747. Yo, just not getting high and all that, man. Like, take care of yourself, B. I like to get in the gym, work out, train, you know what I'm saying? I like to read and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't be sitting around high all motherfucking day, man. Like, what are we doing, man? What's that about? For me, look, people can do what they want. And I got homies that do that and it's all good. I ain't got no problem with it. You know, that's you. You know, but nah.
You know, like I said, you know, we see in a lot of people fall from grace, you know, for things that they did decades ago. Do you think that, you know, landing with your wheels out has to be a decision and a mindset that you got to be committed to from day one?
Well, you got to put yourself in the best position to do that, right? Sometimes you can get lucky. Sometimes things just work out. But, you know, it's better to be, you know, prepared to land is plan your landing. And then if you got to switch it up, you switch it up. You know, it's like, it's a saying, right? All plans are useless, but planning is essential. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you got a plan, it ain't gonna go as planned, but if you got a plan, then you got a place to pivot from. You know what I mean? It's like having a map. If you got a map, you know, and your plan is to go that way, even if you got to switch, you got a map. So you can go that way.
That makes sense.
You dig?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, last year was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. This year is the 40th anniversary of Def Jam.
And me.
And you.
Right, I was the first artist.
So, you know, with all the controversy surrounding Russell Simmons, does that impact how these things can be properly celebrated, how these stories can be properly told?
I don't think so, because I don't think one thing has nothing to do with the other. You know, if we found out that Galileo was doing some crazy shit, should we do away with astronomy and telescopes and shit? Like if we found out that, I don't know, you name it.
You still got to tell the story.
I mean, like it's just like it's really kind of like people, like, look, first of all, I don't like to judge people because I wasn't there. That's the first thing. I also don't belittle, I don't try to never make light of anything that anybody's been through in terms of victimization. I'm not with that either. I don't play them games. What I will say is, you're living in, let's say you're living in an apartment building and you found out that the builder of that apartment building had did some really, really bad things. Should you break your lease and move out? Should we demolish that building and redo it? Have somebody, a perfect hand, build it? I don't know. I don't even know the answer. But what I say to people is you gotta look at these things when you think about stuff. One thing is one thing, this is another. You know what I mean?
And even if you remove the person out the building, you still have to tell the story of the person building that building.
But you still tell the story of the building. So it's like,
yeah.
Let's take history, world history for example. There's probably been a couple of people that have done some good things and bad things. So do we eliminate all of the good because of the bad? Do we throw away the good because of the bad deed? That's the question.
We live in a country that was built on bad deeds.
I'm saying, so do we, are you prepared to give up your passport because of what was done to the indigenous people in this country? Right? Like you gotta be real. And it ain't none of it good. Like, I'm not saying don't make light of it. By no means. I'm not on that bullshit, but I'm just saying, like, we gotta be realistic, man. The dude built, he put together this company. He did.
So even if he's not celebrated, you still gotta tell the story.
Yeah, you may not celebrate his actions in that particular area, but you can't say that he didn't do something right. Right? I'm just saying, like, it's no way around that. Because if not, we have to erase all of world history. Because to find a perfect person that did good things and nothing bad, does that even exist? Does it exist in your household? What was grandma doing?
Yeah.
Was grandma freaking off? Was grandma freaking off, B? Did grandma illegally take money and do the nasty and take some money back in the 60s, and now she making Thanksgiving? And are we foul for eating this stuffing right now? Because grandma shot Buck in the ass with a 22 around the corner. I don't know.
I'm sure those conversations have came up for you though, right? Like people have asked, like, are you gonna have him here?
No, honestly, nobody has really asked, and I'm glad you did ask, because I just think that none of us are perfect, right? And none of us should make light of any victim and anything they go through, ever. We have to look at the world and things on a case-by-case basis, B. Because if you're not gonna look at it on a case-by-case basis, I don't know what we're gonna do. Because nobody gonna do shit. Because if everybody had a goddamn, a Wikipedia on a TV screen above their head with all of the foul shit they did, we'd be walking around this motherfucker. Man, what? What? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Yeah, I know you wouldn't, but you out there chopping chickens' heads off every 5 minutes. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Yeah, I know, you telling the truth.
But I'll kill a chicken.
I'll kill a chicken. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like people, nobody's perfect with that stuff, man. So that's the way I look at it, man. You know what I mean?
Did you feel the way when President Biden got your name wrong at the CBC conference? He called you LL, J, Cool J. then he referred to you as a boy before correcting himself and saying, man. Did you feel the way about that?
Nah, I mean, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, I'm a man. What the fuck you want me to do, man? God damn it! Like, what am I supposed to do? This dude, 80 years old, he's a boy. Man, listen, I got shit to do, man. The last thing I got to worry. Let me tell you something. When you at the point where the president messing up your name is a national story, you was a bad motherfucker.
Did I?
You a bad motherfucker at that point. Yeah. Yo, when the president messing up your name is national news, you did something right. So I'm going to just be like, I'm just going to, wish him all the best, bro. I wish him good health, and that's it, man. I can't.
You ever been approached about doing a chapstick line?
Well, I met with them a long time ago, but, I think, a lot of melanin, man. I'm not sure. That's a lot of melanin, man. A lot of melanin on them lips, man. That shit is like, woof. Little Bonnie, man, get a load of LL and all that. That shit, motherfucker. Yeah, LL.
That's why I want people.
Because I'm saying back then, you know what I mean? Yeah, no.
That's why I want people to listen to the new album, because even with all the success you've had, there's still a lot of doors that have been closed to you because of your blackness.
Well, I mean, listen, but there's a lot of doors that opened, right? See, life is, we know what we're dealing with in the world, in America, but I can't allow myself to get kind of caught up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? We know what's true. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But my thing is, when the elevator doors close, take the steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not tripping off of that. Like, I'm not gonna walk around overly sensitive with a chip on my shoulder about what I'm not getting. I'm too busy thinking about what I am getting. And so, I'm gonna make the most of what I do get. So, if you deny, let's just say, for instance, if somebody wanted to deny me an orange because I'm a black man, okay, but I bet you I'm gonna give me 9,000 peaches out this motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You go get it. Like, you can't be caught up in that, because that misery and that woe is me mentality, that victim mentality, that's not successful. I'm about being successful. You know what I'm saying?
What does success look like for you in regards to the Force album?
Impacting the culture. People getting a full load of the Force album, it really impacting the culture in a major way, with sales, with airplay, with streams, people really feeling it and embracing it and loving it and saying, wow, I didn't know that an artist that came maybe 2, 3, 4 generations before me, I didn't even know that I would even be remotely interested in hearing his music. But wow, this shit really moved me. And then on the flip side of that, it's the day one fans saying, damn, I really thought that, like, because, you know, the guy I went to high school with is a bus driver now and his stomach is to his knees, that L wasn't gonna be able to do it. Nah, we can do it. You can continue to be great and perform at a high level. But you just gotta be on it like that. You know what I'm saying? What cloth are you cut from? Are you cut from the surrender cloth, or are you cut from the conquer cloth? You gotta make those decisions, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I want, you know what I mean? Like, touch the world with that shit and let people know, like, yo, this guy's real. This shit is real. This is a different thing. This dude is different because he really executes the shit he says. Like, you know, this ain't Raisin in the Sun, B. I'm not just talking about the shit all day and, you know, and then never doing it.
Will the music be enough to tell the LL Cool J story?
Oh, no, I'm way too multifaceted for that. There's too many dimensions to my character, B. But it definitely will tell the artistic stories that I've been looking to put forth. You know what I'm saying? And it'll tell people where I was at when I created that music and what I felt was important, what I was inspired by. And hopefully you can find inspiration in my inspiration. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like having sex, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be in the moment, you gotta be self-aware, you gotta know when to be aggressive, you gotta know when to be calm. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know when to turn it up, you gotta know when to turn it down, you gotta know when to be nice, you know, you gotta know when to be not so nice. That's life, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying?
LL Cool J.
My man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love,
Thank you
baby.
for the time, man.
My
Yes,
man.
sir.
Appreciate you.